China leads the world in electric vehicles, or EVs, and is a major market for them. Companies like BYD are selling more EVs than even Tesla. But behind this success, a troubling trend is emerging. Recent videos show thousands of new BYD cars left abandoned in fields. Reports suggest over 10,000 EVs, all legally owned and registered, are now deserted. This raises serious questions about why so many EVs are being left to decay, and why so many EV companies in China are facing financial collapse. Let's uncover the surprising truth behind China's massive electric vehicle graveyards. Out on the edges of Hangzhou, a small rundown temple overlooks a sad sight. A large area filled with abandoned electric cars among fields covered in weeds and trash. Similar scenes of cars being left behind have been seen in several Chinese cities, where hundreds of battery-powered vehicles are just left there. While some places have been cleaned up, Hangzhou is different. Here, cars have been sitting for so long that plants now grow from their trunks, and forgotten stuffed animals still sit on dusty dashboards. These sites remind people of what happened recently in China, like the bike-sharing boom and then bust in 2018. After the rise and fall of tech companies like Ofo and Mobike, tens of millions of bicycles were left abandoned in rivers, ditches, and empty parking lots across the country. The sad scene in Hangzhou shows us how quickly things can change with new technology, raising questions about the impact on the environment. Rules about how these things are used and what happens to things that were once seen as new and exciting. This time, the cars were likely left behind because the ride-hailing companies that owned them went out of business, or because they were soon to be outdated as car manufacturers kept introducing newer electric vehicles, with better features and longer driving ranges. These abandoned cars serve as a stark reminder of the excess and waste that can occur when a lot of money pours into a growing industry. They might also be seen as a strange symbol of the huge advancements in electric transportation in recent years. About 10 years ago, spurred by government subsidies, hundreds of car makers in China, both big names and new startups, jumped into making electric cars. They produced large numbers of early-stage EVs, basic cars with batteries that sometimes only lasted around 100 kilometers or 62 miles on a single charge. Most of these vehicles were bought by ride-hailing companies that rented them out to drivers. In the early days of China's EV market, car-sharing fleets drove the delivery numbers, explained Yang Huang, a senior analyst at JSC Automotive, a consulting firm based in Shanghai and Stuttgart. Very few private customers choose to buy them. The demand fueled tremendous growth in an industry that has expanded exponentially ever since. Today, China leads the world in electric vehicles, manufacturing approximately 6 million EVs and plug-in hybrids last year alone. Nearly 1 out of every 3 new cars sold domestically. China now boasts 60% of the world's total electric vehicle fleet and has built the most extensive EV charging infrastructure globally, supported largely by government initiatives. However, this rapid development also left behind numerous casualties. Many early adopters of EVs among ride-hailing companies have since shut down. Today, there are around 100 Chinese electric car manufacturers, a significant decrease from approximately 500 in 2019. These graveyards are a troubling outcome of that consolidation. Not only are these sites unsightly, but the rapid disposal of EVs undermines their environmental benefits, considering they are more carbon-intensive to manufacture and only outperform traditional cars in terms of emissions after several years of use. Moreover, each of these discarded vehicles contains valuable materials like nickel, lithium, and cobalt, metals crucial for recycling to enhance the sustainability of China's EV industry. According to reports from local media, the Hangzhou government has pledged to address the issue of abandoned EVs, which began accumulating in 2019. However, a recent visit by Bloomberg News revealed multiple locations in the city's Yuhang and the West Lake districts, still filled with these neglected vehicles, despite efforts to clear them. Before Tesla established its Shanghai factory and started producing cars in China in early 2020, most EVs made in the world's second largest economy were small and of lower quality. they struggled to attract customers who had a wide array of appealing gasoline-powered cars to choose from. In the late 2000s, the Chinese government initiated efforts to boost EV adoption by offering rebates up to 60,000 yuan or $8,400 per vehicle, and implementing restrictions on gasoline car ownership in major cities. Automakers supported or established ride-hailing startups, which stocked their fleets with electric vehicles. For instance, Geely-backed Kakao Chuqing, which continues to operate successfully. However, another service named Panda, supported by Chongqing Lifan Auto Company, ceased operations, and Lifan Auto itself declared bankruptcy in 2020. Geely later acquired Lifan Auto, and Bloomberg News observed EVs from Geely's joint venture with Lifan, known as Maple, at one of the abandoned sites. In the mid-2010s, China intensified its effort to promote EVs through a credit system that rewarded automakers for producing electric vehicles and penalized those manufacturing fuel-consuming cars. According to a 2021 report by Fitch Ratings Incorporated, some companies may have launched ride-hailing services as a convenient way to manage their increasing stocks of EVs that were not selling well to the public. Some companies resorted to fraudulent practices to exploit the subsidy program for electric vehicles. Examples include producing empty chassis without batteries or manufacturing cars with substantial batteries that didn't meet required specifications. In 2016, the official People's Daily reported that numerous companies had falsely claimed over 9.3 billion yuan, or $1.3 billion in subsidies. Beginning in 2019, Beijing is cutting back national subsidies for all electric car purchases. This policy change caught many ride-hailing companies off guard, severely impacting their financial stability. Those companies couldn't withstand the changes, noted Huang. The phenomenon of EV graveyards first gained public attention later that same year, when internet users and local media began reporting on the issue. Jing Yang, director of China Corporate Research at Fitch Ratings, and one of the authors of their 2021 report, expressed that the existence of EV graveyards doesn't come as a surprise now. The adoption of electric vehicles by taxi companies and fleet operators played a crucial role in familiarizing consumers with EVs as viable alternatives, according to Yang. This early adoption also spurred manufacturers to invest in EV-related technologies at this time when consumer demand was still nascent, laying the groundwork for broader acceptance. Models from several different companies were seen at the sites, but none of them responded to inquiries. China's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, responsible for EV regulation, did not reply to a fax, and calls to the Hangzhou government went unanswered. A 2021 local media report indicated that Fastep's cars were awaiting auction. The company's official WeChat account has been inactive since 2019. Contact numbers from previous posts are no longer operational. Shenzhen-based photographer Wu Guiyang, in 2018 he captured striking drone footage of abandoned bicycles, and followed up in 2019 with aerial shots showing thousands of electric cars in empty lots around Hangzhou and Nanjing. That's it for today's video. It's clear there's been progress, but also big problems. Seeing all these abandoned electric cars makes us think about what should happen next. How can we make sure electric cars are good for the environment and for the economy? As we move forward, what steps should countries take to learn from China's experience with electric vehicles? Comment down below, and we'll see you in the next video.